Welcome back to the 150K podcast, where we help you go from six figures or from broke to six figures and beyond. And sometimes we can talk and sometimes we can't. My special guest today, I met 3 weeks ago at a mastermind in Montana. Never met her before. Fell in love with how funny, awesome, and great she is. Her name is Jenny McKinney, aka Jeninger. Did I say that right?
Jenergy.
Jenergy. I messed it up already.
That's all right.
The cool thing is with this is she's a stand-up comedian, healer, NLP master, has her own podcast. For those of you who haven't met you yet, Jenergy, I'm still messing it up. It's great.
That's okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do in general.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Joe. I'm super excited to be here. I know we had an awesome time in Montana a few weeks ago. That was a life-changing mastermind for sure. And yeah, so I'm Jenny McKinney. I am the energy behind So Much Jenergy and laughter to the world. So I facilitate laughing meditation. I have a podcast that's inspirational comedy. So we have different people on. The whole goal is to raise the vibration of everybody and how they're feeling. And so I don't think people realize how instrumental laughing is in your everyday life and to healing and health. And so, yes, I'm a coach. I have a business around coaching, and I do stand-up comedy. I also do consulting and presentations, and let's see. Oh, and I'm a cosmetology instructor.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. So you have a lot.
Yeah, I was like,
you definitely have a lot on your plate.
Yeah, my plate is. Yeah, I have like a buffet size plate. Yes.
Well, that's good. So you can go and get whatever you want at any time that you need. So that's perfect.
It's a platter for sure.
That's great. So tell us a little bit more about. I think I saw on your website you're doing an event soon. Is that correct? Up in Michigan?
Yeah, so I am doing a live laughing meditation. So I've been doing laughing meditation on Facebook 2 times a week just to help people feel better in their everyday life. And now I'm going to take this into live events. It's actually going to be a 30-minute laughing meditation, which I know people are like, well, how does this work? So I'll explain. It's we will come in and we will sit in a circle, actually facing out, and then we'll be shoulder to shoulder if everybody's comfortable. If not, we'll space out a little bit more. The point is that you aren't having any judgment and we aren't looking at everybody else. We're just with our own thoughts, and the meditation is just focusing on our breathing and our laughter. And so if you have to get one little memory in your mind here, you can pull that memory up and just stay with that one memory. Now, what it doesn't allow you to do is we aren't in left field, running around. We're not thinking about the bills. We're not thinking about, I need a new starter for my car or anything like that. So it helps us stay present. We burn calories. You burn 4 calories a minute. So we'll burn 120 calories.
Nice.
Your abs will hurt. Good. And the whole point is, if you can't laugh that whole time, it's okay. You can fake laugh. A lot of people don't realize when you fake laugh, your body is still doing the same thing, and you still get the benefits of laughing. So just being in the vicinity of somebody else laughing, and it's connection, right? So doing stand-up comedy, I wanted to take it a little bit further because laughter is the connection that connects us at a comedy show. The thing is, if you're at a 5-minute open mic night and say the person up there isn't that funny, it kind of changes the whole vibe of the room. And so I want this to be a healing connection in what we're doing. So I'm super excited to do that. Yeah, it's going to be in Ortonville, Michigan. I'm originally from Michigan. We live in Tennessee right now. Well, forever. And we've moved here 5 years ago. And in July, we're going to visit. And so July 15th, it's a Thursday night. It's 6:00 at the Old Town Hall in Ortonville. We're going to have a live laughing meditation for 30 minutes, and then we're going to do a live podcast recording.
Oh, nice. So let's talk a little bit more about the laughing meditation, because as you know, I'm just getting into meditation, that type of stuff.
Sure.
So does like with laughing meditation, is that like put you into a different state? Is that kind of part of what you're trying to do there, or?
Yeah, so what happens is when we're in our everyday work life or family, or we kind of get caught up in a lower vibration. So, if you have people that are, say, grouchy or crabby, or always needing you, and you're having to give your energy out in a way, this allows you to pull it back. Oh, I just got chills. And we're going to take our energy back, get that power, and then we're going to be present for
Mhm.
30 minutes. So when we tap into the unconscious mind when we're present, then that's where the meditation is. And it'll allow us to just have those benefits as well. So, yeah, it's people think, oh, it's just laughing for the sake of laughing. Okay, yeah, you can, yeah, kind of, I guess, but really it's the for the benefits.
Yeah, well, it's like an anchor in a way, or like a shifting, like, because you can shift state. And a lot of times
Yeah,
we don't. We just let the world beat us up. So this is a
right.
way, I guess, would be a tool to, like, you have a bad day, whatever, or you just need a break from it. You can do it from 5 to 10 to 15, 20 minutes, whatever you need, and it will help you get back in that flow
Yeah,
state, for
yeah,
better lack of
yeah.
words.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a very good point. And then also what happens is, when I was talking about that lower vibration, this helps you resonate at a higher vibration, which then allows you to feel connected, feel that happy feeling, feel important and empowered and worthy.
Mhm.
And just being in that group and that energy of laughter really helps you. So the other benefit too is, even when people come to the laughing meditation online, the virtual events, the thing is, if you have stagnant energy in your house, kind of when you feel like a spring cleaning and
Mhm.
just getting that fresh air in and feels good,
Yep.
if you just turn the laughing meditation on and hear me laughing in your space, it clears out the negativity in your space. So
Mhm.
you don't even have to laugh in your own space. You can just turn laughing on, and yeah, so it can actually change the energy in your space.
No, that brings up a good point, because I've done that with music before. I've
Yeah,
done that with walking or other stuff. I had never, like, you're the first person I've ever met that's done a laughing meditation. So it's kind
sure.
of like a cool little, maybe it's not a niche, but I kind of consider it a
Yeah,
niche.
yeah. Well, like I said, I just want to take stand-up comedy because it really is subjective, and I wanted to take the healing benefit of the comedy show to the next step. And I have this amazing ability to laugh. I couldn't laugh. Well, I actually applied to Guinness Book of World
Yep.
Records for the longest laugh, and I did get rejected because they said it was not able to be counted. So there were too many like
Mhm.
open loops that they weren't able
They
to
couldn't like process it.
yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly. So,
What is the longest amount of time you've laughed?
oh, honestly, so I did an actual 45-minute laughing meditation, and out of the whole group there was about 30, I think there was 32 of us. And out of the whole group, I even the facilitators couldn't laugh the whole time. They were fake laughing.
Mhm.
I was literally the only one that was legitimately laughing the entire time. So I know it's more than 45 minutes.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I've been on a couple of yours. I've laughed maybe 2 to 3 minutes. That's about my
Yeah.
max at that moment. But
Yeah, I think in when COVID first started, I thought, let me do this 2 times a week. And then I think at one point I was up to about 24 minutes. So yeah, but then now I just do like 2 to 3 minutes as like a little pick me up for people to pop on when they, it's because sometimes it's in the middle of their work day or first thing in the morning or at night. So
Mhm.
I try to space them out at different times they can join in there. But I do have videos on YouTube that you can listen to anytime.
No, that's good. And does
Yeah.
that play into like the NLP stuff that you do, or is that a different aspect?
Yeah, so NLP is more of my coaching in my coaching position. And so, and I feel like it's more like a facilitation, right? I feel like coach is, it might be an overused word at this
Mhm.
time. But I really feel like a facilitator of healing is how I feel
Yep.
about it, where NLP is just how are we processing information and how do we use it in the world, and how does somebody have a choice in how they're seeing things. A lot of times when people feel that they're stagnant, not just in their energy, also in their space and in their mindset. And so I think people just need a different way to look at things. I can
Mhm.
remember one of my coaches, I was having some issues at the job I was in, 9 to 5, and I said something about the one girl I worked with. She was real lazy and would let me do all the work. Well, of course, she's going to let me do it all because I'm
Yep.
doing it all. And she said, "What if she wants to get fired?" And I thought, oh my gosh, I have never in my life thought about that. And so it's really just taking a situation, a thought, a process, a feeling, and really just kind of coming out around it at like different degrees,
Mhm.
right? And that's really how I feel about NLP. It's literally changed my life and my healing. And I've worked through a lot, which is funny because I would say if you had asked me 3 years ago, are you happy? My answer is always yes. Like, I'm living my best life. I just
Mhm.
didn't realize that I had some things in there that, like, in joy about 99.9% of the time.
Right.
And so, like, but now, like, it's bliss, right? So, getting those cobwebs kind of cleaned out of there really, really helped.
Mhm. And I think that's something that a lot of sales professionals, entrepreneurs, people like that, we deal with that because, at least from my experience and other people I know, we kind of find our thing to do to hide
Right.
from the things we don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
And just getting into this world, it's been kind of interesting to me to kind of learn that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. Reframing's good,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. And just the language that people use. And really, I feel like with the tools of NLP, it's so powerful to have an awareness around things that are being said to you. And even just when you're being pitched to and you didn't even know it,
Mhm.
even on the news or commercials and things like that. So just having that awareness around, I know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, because we use it, like I use it in my sales job all the time, and with
Yeah,
training people and all, it's just reframing how we say stuff, how
sure.
you present things to people, getting them to go along the process.
Right.
Um, so another question I always like to ask people
Yeah.
is, knowing what you know now, what would you tell or encourage your younger self? Say it could be 8, 18, whatever age you want to go back
Oh,
with. What would be some key things you would just say, like open
yeah.
book there, whatever you
What
want
a
to say.
great question, especially having that openness on any age. I would say probably about my I would say I did my first comedy show all by myself. It was 60 minutes. I would say the minute I did that show, I would say to myself to stick with that because I
Mhm.
had a corporate job and I felt like, the whole time I had been I don't want to say program, but I feel like my family's belief was, if you have a corporate job, you can make a lot of money, which I
Mhm.
I was. Yeah, at the same time, it didn't feel like the greater good for me.
Right.
And so I felt like when I was on stage, not not just the shine of the spotlight or the microphone, or it was literally the energy that I had. And it's not a control thing, it's a energy share,
Mhm.
right? And so I even though I have the microphone, I'm just saying something that ripples out for everybody to hear
No,
and
well, that
feel.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
It's like you stepped into who you were supposed to be
yeah,
instead of what
yeah,
your family puts you in.
right,
Which, yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And I really had a severe fear of success.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, because I had oh gosh, limiting beliefs around money and mindset and you know, stand-up comics don't make any money and then you have to travel all over and I had a baby and
Mhm.
there's just so many the cons outweighed all the pros, but even though my heart was in the pro, that I would tell myself to just do it. I was so scared because I feel like I really could have hit it big, and not in a cocky way. I'm just saying that really scared me
Mhm.
because I felt I didn't want my space violated. I wanted to be able to grocery shop and not, have everyone
Yeah.
rush you and just different things. But, looking back, I would say the benefits would outweigh the fear.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
and
And
let's talk about that a little bit more because I think a
yeah,
lot of us have that. I know it might sound funny, but that fear of success.
sure.
Because like I grew up in small Midwest town. You're supposed
Yeah.
to go to the factory, go get a job, work there for 30 years, do the
Right.
thing. And I was always a square peg going into the round hole. It
Yes.
didn't work for me. I could play the
Right.
game, but I hated it.
Yeah.
How did you start to overcome the fear of success? And did you have any like tools or techniques that you used, or was it just life happened?
Yeah. So when I first started comedy, I only started because I had three people in one day tell me, "Hey, you should do stand-up comedy." And I thought, okay,
Awesome.
that's not a coincidence,
Yep.
right? And so I scheduled my own show, and then I would sporadically do like an open mic or people. So I feel like the universe was still telling me to do this,
Mhm.
and I kept shying away. So I kept doing it. I'd write new material for each show. I did church shows, I did bars, I did, open mics. And it it wasn't until we moved here to Tennessee, because, and that's literally 20, after my first show, that was like 22 years ago I did that.
Mhm.
When we moved to Tennessee, I didn't know anybody. And so I took advantage of having this skill, because I still was working a few jobs in Michigan. And when we moved here, I thought, this is perfect. Nobody knows me. And this is a great way to meet people.
Mhm.
And so I would meet other comedians. And so I really just had to step into myself when we moved here, because before, we had a daughter and I could meet people through her school and work. And then now I'm not Madeline's mom.
Right. Right.
I'm not, oh, this is Josh's wife.
Mhm.
So now it's just me, Jenny McKinney. And you can't just go to the park and meet people, because now you're a creeper, right? Like, so I really started to branch out, because the coffee shops were fun. The thing is, I don't drink, so I don't hang out at a bar. I mean, the
Right.
only bar I should be at is the salad bar, because there's no. And so I really just stepped out into myself when we moved here. So
Mhm.
keeping myself busy, finding who I am, what do I want to do? Because I really feel like the energy that we're in here is a lot different than Michigan. And I
Right.
mean it in the sense of where, and well, right? You're from Michigan.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, yeah, so just being in a feeling where it's not that I never felt like I didn't fit in Michigan. I knew that if I could just get to somewhere else, it would literally let my whole soul
Mhm.
open. And that's how I feel here in Tennessee, where the sun shines. If it's raining, I know that in just a few hours it's going to be sunny again. There's mountains, we hike, there's
Yep.
animals. I mean, it's gorgeous. And
No,
so,
no, I get you. I get you.
yeah, yeah.
I
And so
moved 1,000 miles away from Michigan on purpose. I literally
right,
moved to Texas.
right.
And it was like I had to get to the point where I had to get out of what my family thought I was doing, what
Yeah,
their expectations and all were on me. They're
right.
great people. Don't take it wrong. It's not like I don't have like the long, horrible story of childhood of how it was bad. It was just
Sure.
sometimes you have to get to a new environment, new energy, whatever term you want to put there, so that you can become who you're supposed to be. So that's
Yes.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about now. You've been podcasting. You have how many podcast episodes out now?
81. I think 81. We just posted our 81st podcast.
That's awesome. And you have a person that you do a podcast with, or is this something you do solo?
Yeah, this little noob, he's my brother. It's my
Uh-huh.
real brother in life.
Yep.
So yeah, so my brother Jeff Jones, Jeff Jones is his forte is more like improv and writing stories. And like I love taking a story and then just spitting it out, right? Like
Mhm.
I just get it out there for the laugh. And he really kind of like he really NLPs it, like he manipulates it, like puts it all and then just makes it this whole amazing thing. And so a lot of my comedy is stuff that we talk about and then write funny stories about, or funny stories from when we were growing up and just sharing that. So, but we have two different comedy styles. And so it's really fun to take what he says and then I think, no, that is not funny. And then he just keeps going with it. And then because it's so crazy, it
Yep.
turns out to be so funny.
No, that's good. Well, I know when we were at the mastermind, you had me doing one-liners all the time. You
Yeah,
telling stories, and I was just like, it just like pulled out of me.
right.
Maybe that's a
Yeah.
gift you have.
Yeah, and that's the energy that I literally create. Like I just want everybody to be their authentic self.
Mhm.
I don't first of all, you can't look like this and have judgment, right?
Right,
Like
right.
people come up all the time and they're like, I'm so sorry, my daughter, because let's say, for example, one time I'm walking out of Walmart and this girl's like, mom, there's a clown coming. And she walked up, she's like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I was like, I can't look like this and be upset about it, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I think it's really just being me allows
Mhm.
other people to be themselves. And so you don't have to put on well, I don't want to say a mask because, we
Yeah,
don't
I
have
got
to
you.
anymore. But I mean, like an energetic or
Yep. Yep.
spiritual or whatever mask you're
Mhm.
putting on, like we don't have to do that. And so and the amazing thing is when you laugh, even if I don't know you and we're laughing together, we're
Mhm.
still connected. And
Yep.
so that's really like creating that space for you just being you. I
Mhm.
want the best for you.
No, I love that. And like I said, when we met 3 weeks ago and all, it just was like we didn't have to have the mask on. We didn't have to be like, I'm the salesperson, you're the comedian.
Right.
It was just like family and just getting together, which was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, just having a great time, enjoying each other, telling funny stories. It's not about the upset or, if somebody's being vulnerable, we all feel that and share
Mhm.
that and just let that know that person, like, hey, we're here for you. We don't have to get in the space. We can just create the space for that person. And
Yep.
so, and it's not, you don't have to reply every time, somebody says something too.
Mhm.
I think silence is saying a lot. I'm learning that a lot, especially since our mastermind. Silence is very loud.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn that. I still have
Yeah.
that habit of they said that I want to say something, but I'm
Right.
getting there. I'm getting
Yeah.
there. So since was that was my first mastermind I had ever been to. Had you been to one before, or was that the first one you've been to in person?
No, that's my first in person. I've been to a few online.
Mhm.
It just has a different feel,
Yeah,
because you come in and then, everybody just kind of meets and then you're still at your house. I feel like there's a bigger shift allowed when you're taking out of your comfort zone.
yes, yes. No, I agree. I think
Yeah.
that whole being in Glacier National Park,
Oh,
meeting everybody, doing the walk, doing the stuff. Well,
yeah.
we'll save that part for another day. But
Yeah. Oh
I
my
would highly
gosh.
recommend masterminds for pretty much anyone in business, sales, life in general. Really.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you are thinking about attending one, I would 100% do it. There's not any one part I regretted. And I took 3 flights to get there.
Yeah, you did. You did. I remember. I remember. Before we let you go, we'll have to talk about the Carol story because that was hilarious.
Oh my
That cracked
gosh.
me up. I watched
Yes.
your video 3 or 4 times. I was laughing so
Carol,
hard.
gosh bless, like that, everything. My whole perspective since we left Montana is nothing is a coincidence. Like my hashtag not a coincidence every single day since then.
That's
Love it.
awesome.
Yeah.
So before we get into the funny Carol stuff and all, we were talking about that. One of the big things we learned about there was just taking a moment and being still.
Hmm.
Which for me, as a atypical get stuff done type of person, I don't stop. So I've been
Yeah.
trying to do it. When I talked to Marsha on my last podcast, I'm up to 8 minutes now. How
Mm.
has that been going for you? I know you were doing meditation stuff beforehand, or what was your biggest takeaway for me for the masterminding was be still and just be in the moment.
Yeah, think so. The biggest takeaway I had was to slow down to speed up,
Mhm.
and really the silence. So after the mastermind, I've been doing guided meditations or music meditations, and I was up to I could do anywhere from like 30 to 60 minutes, and but being quiet. So now I've actually learned that the silence is really where I need to be to really reflect and figure out. So, for example, last night, right before I fall asleep, sometimes I'll wear my headphones and listen to music or, just to
Mhm.
relax. And I was just being quiet and I seriously heard, like, hey, sweetie, you're playing too small. And then I fell asleep. So that was the first thing I thought of this morning. I was like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Like, I couldn't believe I remembered it. Because a lot of times when things come to me, I have a lot of jokes I write at night because of
Yep.
that. And so I write it on my pad of paper right next to my bed. But I feel like the silence is big. So I've been working out in silence, and actually I start talking to myself really nice now. Like, you can do this. Whereas before I'm like, this is taking too long. My legs
Mhm.
hurt, and it's so easy to get so negative. And now I for well at the mastermind, I blabbed out of my mouth that I was going to sign up for a half marathon. It
Yeah,
just
you did.
literally shot out of my mouth. And I even thought, what the crap? And so when I came back, I did sign up for the half marathon. So I'm training for that now. And so I'm on the treadmill for about an hour and talking to myself, staring at the white wall.
Mhm.
And our music is so loud at the gym, and I bring earplugs to drown it out, and then I put my headphones on top of it. Um, and it really has made a huge difference where I'm like, you can do this. This is fine. And not only that, if I'm going to be running in how many ever hours of silence anyway, then I need to be ready and mentally prepared. And it just changed my whole perspective of working out myself, my body, my mindset. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would say that's the biggest
No,
takeaway.
I liked what you said about the talking to yourself and telling yourself good things, because this world's crazy negative.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of people that are probably listening to this are in environments. I don't know if you've been in a sales gig or not. It's very negative. What did you do for me lately? And
Right.
I'm just thinking back to, when we had to look at each other and go, you're amazing, or I love you for, or
Right.
I am encouraged, like that whole thing.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a great mental shift. I've been trying to apply that, especially when I start getting into negative, or I didn't do
Right.
this or I didn't do that. So
Yeah.
it's been a good shift there for me too.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've actually taken that one step further, and when I came home, I do that in the mirror now. So I do that energy exercise to myself.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I've been
Yeah.
practicing on it on my 8-year-old, or
Oh
wait,
yeah,
shoot,
nice.
she's 6. I just made her go up 2 years. Wow,
Oh,
let's
okay.
not do that. But like just getting there, standing, and she loves it. She eats it up because kids are just such an open book.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
doing it with my wife, I tried that a little bit. It was a little weird just because it's just
Sure.
weird when you look into someone, but I think
Yeah.
it's a great exercise
Yeah.
for sure.
And it's so amazing. That's so phenomenal that you can teach your daughter that and allow her those skills to use when she gets, if she's stressed out, or as a coping mechanism, or even just a silence practice,
Mhm.
you know, because then how amazing is that when she starts into like her puberty years and like she's having chemical and hormonal changes? How awesome would that be? I mean, if I could go back, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
No, no, I'm with you. Like the
Yeah.
stuff looking back now, I wish I could go back a little bit, but then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Then I wouldn't have all the fun stuff I have now, or
Right.
experiences I have
Right.
now.
Right.
Kind of like, do
Yeah.
I want to? Do I not want to?
Right.
But
Yeah.
so next fun question, I always like to
Yeah.
ask different unique questions, would
Sure.
be, if you could go into the future or into the past for 1 year, learn anything you can, and then come back, would you go into the future or the past? And what would you want to learn?
Ooh.
It's a really hard question. I know.
It really is. I'll tell you the very first thing I thought though, because I don't want to change it.
Mhm.
My very first thought is that my cousin passed away 4 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And I would say I would go back and spend a year with her because she was a teacher of teachers.
Mhm.
And I feel like we were best friends anyway, soul sisters. And so I feel like if I could just have a year with her and get that knowledge and just have her share more. We were spiritually connected and energetically connected anyway, but I feel
Mhm.
like if we could, like, she wrote a book to teach teachers, and if I could just spend more time with her on the mindset of schools. And so I feel like that might have changed, if and then come back to now, I feel like it would allow me to just bust right into schools. I'm doing things with schools now, but I feel like if I could just go back and then come back,
Mhm.
I would have a different opportunities and probably a different hmm, I don't know. I feel like there's something in the schools that I'm not doing yet, and I don't know what that is. So I
Mhm.
feel like if I did go back, that would allow me to have some clarity around
Yeah.
that.
Is that part of you maybe thinking you're playing too small? Is that playing to that a little bit, or?
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, because I feel like with kids, especially like middle school and high school ages, just with hormonal changes and, they don't want to be by their parents, but really that's the time that they need them to be there.
Yep. Yep.
It's just that like awkward time. And I
Yeah.
really would love to work with the kids and with the parents, because like at 14 I was suicidal, and
Mhm.
so that shifted our whole family. I mean,
Yep.
I had to go home and tell my mom that I went into the counselor's office and said that. And so I just have this like really soft spot in my heart for kids that feel like there's just no way out, you
Mhm.
know. And
No,
there
no,
really
that's good.
is. There is a choice. There are options. And I would hate for anybody to feel like they never had an option. And so I don't know, I feel like I can just, I don't want to say save the world because that's, a huge undertaking. I just feel like I can help shift people's mindset to
Mhm.
see things in a new way is
Yeah.
all.
But you can save the world around you. I think that's the
Yeah.
thing people get caught up in. Oh, I want to save the world. What does that mean? Well, start where you are
Yeah,
with the
yeah, I
people you
do love
know. I
that.
mean, and you
Yeah,
are saving the world because you only know the world you see. It's
right.
not that you don't care about other people, but you just only know the world you see.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So if I could definitely make an impact on the people in my life or in the neighborhoods. So for example, we have this amazing mentoring program in our school district here in Tennessee where you can apply to be a mentor for like a middle school child
Mhm.
and that has a, rough life. And so I've done that for 3 years now. So I'm
Nice.
just well, I don't want to say I want to say like I'm a lunch buddy,
Mhm.
which means I go have lunch with a little nugget at the middle school. And, like here comes this clown in to have lunch. And then it's almost like everyone's like, ooh, she gets to have lunch with Jen,
Mhm.
because, all the other little kids are just, I don't want to say envious, but like if they have good lives, that's amazing for them. It's just when I have this 1 hour with this little, middle schooler whose life is falling apart,
Mhm.
and if she wants to mix her chocolate milk in her french fries, I mean, whatever. I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
cool. It's great.
Yeah, it's
You're just
I'm
touching
trying
a
not to
life.
get
Yep.
sick, but
Yep. Well, you don't have to do that part, but you're doing kind
right.
of what we learned. You're holding
Yeah.
space. You're doing,
Yeah.
the things that they need, and that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And just having that connection. So the amazing ability that I have is that when I do go in there and they don't want to talk, if I just start laughing, because
Mhm.
middle school kids are, that's just a goofy age, and
Yep.
people are getting, there's, 6 feet tall kids and there's 3 feet tall kids and there's just, it's so, such a great mix.
Yep.
And being in that environment, it just makes me laugh. Like the energy in there is just funny. And so if I start laughing, each time with the girls that I've been working with, they laugh so hard. And sometimes the one girl, we didn't even talk for the first 3 visits. We would just laugh.
Mhm.
And she would just eat her food, and we would, I'd ask her questions, and then she slowly opened up. But when I finally asked how many kids she had, she thought that was hilarious. And that was like that opened the floodgates. She's 11, right? Like it's the
Yeah.
silliest question.
Yep.
And I just thought like, hey, how many kids do you have? And
But it
so,
got her to open up. That's what
yeah,
you were trying to do. That's
yeah, that's
perfect.
exactly it. And so after that, and then we, abruptly had to break up because of COVID. So that was
Mhm.
kind of awkward. But I wrote her letters, and I just feel like that can make such a difference. If anybody is struggling out there with their kids, they can go somewhere with their kids too to just facilitate that communication.
Mhm.
Sometimes you might not feel like you know how to communicate with your child, and that is a hard thing to navigate
Yep. Yep.
sometimes. Yeah.
No, I actually had a buddy of mine tell me something that was really, really good, and I'm just going to share it real quick.
Yeah.
When they're young, date them, boy, girl, doesn't matter. Go out, do stuff with them, like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. Let them tell you about everything.
Yeah.
This means engage, not looking at your phone or your paper or
Right.
anything, being engaged with them. When they get older, they actually talk to you. And I found
Yes.
this happen with my oldest daughter, who's 18. She still tells me a bunch of stuff. My son does it, and I'm working on doing it with the little one now.
Yeah.
But it was just a good practice.
I
Um,
love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that I apply that's like that. That makes sense.
Yeah, I can remember when our daughter was little, and I remember thinking, I'm going to treat her like she's an adult in the
Mhm.
way that I communicate with her, not adults content. I'm just
Understood.
saying, like,
Understood.
as I'm talking to her, include her in conversations, explain to her why things are happening. And I can remember people around me saying, "Why do you talk to her like that? She's two." And I said, "Because she's not going to be two forever." And
Right.
sure enough, then as she got older, she was more inquisitive and she could explain things better. And now she's an amazing problem solver and she's a
Mhm.
chemist. And, she talk about save the world. Gosh. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But I'm still trying to lose the baby weight. So don't worry about it.
Well, we all have our struggles. I have not been
She's,
working out. I need to get
yeah.
back into the workout train. It's just been because I went on vacation and I'm still been in vacation mode. I need to get back into the gym.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, well,
I'm with
that's
you.
okay. She's 24. I think it's not baby weight anymore.
But you are doing a marathon or a half marathon.
Yeah.
Sorry, I almost doubled
Yeah.
it for you.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Don't sign me up for the other part. Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So do you? Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna
That's
say.
okay.
So do you? With being a business owner, you have a lot more freedom. So you can do stuff like doing the thing with the middle schoolers and all.
Yeah.
Um, do you find, and I think it ties back into, you mentioned the corporate job. If you're stuck in your corporate job,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have that same type of freedom to do what you're able to do because you can kind of manipulate your schedule a little bit easier being in business for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So what I did is I left my 9 to 5 last year. They laid us off, and then after they brought us back, probably November. And what I realized is because I had started my own company in February,
Mhm.
and I still stayed working full time. But when we got laid off, and I started working with a coach, and then realized like, hey, I really love this. I want to incorporate this into my business.
Yep.
And so now what I do is consulting for the business that I used to work for. So it allows me that flexibility to say, yes, I'll work with you, with your company. And there's not so many limitations on it.
Mhm.
But I have the freedom to say, okay, I can be here from 9 to 1 because I have coaching clients, or I can't work this week. That's
Right.
okay.
Right. It
Yeah.
gives you the
So
freedom. Definitely.
yeah, and it's a disconnect, from that, because before when you work for somebody, it almost feels like you're tied down, right? So to create that freedom mindset, that's why I do consulting for them now. So
No, that's perfect. And I think a lot of people listening to this are wanting to go from the corporate world or being stuck in a job to whatever their dream may be.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I mean, being able to renegotiate that, or like you talked about with the NLP, reframe what you were
right.
doing for them is amazing. That's great.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. And it just has a different feeling around it too. I feel like not that the I feel like there's less squeeze on me, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. The Even though we're all still doing the same job with the same people, and I love it and super grateful for that opportunity, and it just feels different
Mhm.
because I feel more in control of it as my business, where I'm offering my services. I'm not being told what to do or being treated a certain way. Because if I think, okay, I don't like that, I don't have to participate.
Mhm.
So that's okay.
No, that's good. So I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you one more question,
Yeah.
and then we do have to do the Carol story because
Okay.
if not, I'm
Yeah.
gonna like I told we would do it.
Yeah.
But so for date, well, I might do two more questions.
Okay.
Let me rephrase my statement. So for your daily habits and routines, do you
Mm.
have a set habit and routine that you do, or do you just kind of flow through the day? How do you operate with being a business owner, comedian, everything that you do?
Yeah. So the absolute necessary, like my necessary non-negotiable is the first hour to 2 hours of my day. And so what that means is I get up. Usually my dog will wake me up pretty early,
Nice.
about 4 or 5, and then I journal. I do a meditation, and then I go work out. And so I don't look at my phone until after I do those things. So what I've learned is that I don't allow myself to start giving to others until I fill my own cup for the day.
Good. Yep.
Yeah.
So
So that's the
self-care
most
is very
important thing.
important.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then during the day, so if say I'm doing customer service and consulting and coaching and have all these people, and you just been in a lot of energy and you just feel a little, I don't want to say overwhelmed, I want to say energetically drained. So if I'm, taking a lunch break at 1:30, I'll literally just take a quick nap for like 8 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
And
I've
so
done
then,
that.
yeah, no, I love it. And it's just like I'm refreshed and I pop up and I'm good to go for the rest of the night. And then at the end of the night, I stop answering any emails, chats, any social media, anything. Usually about an hour and a half before I go to bed.
Mhm. Just that way you have a start to your day and end to your day.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
the same thing. I have time blocked with my job, with my
Yeah.
podcast, with my with everything that I'm doing. I've learned I
Yeah.
have to be a lot more. So I used to be let's just do it and I can just get it all done. And then I would crash and burn because I'd be too tired.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, let's say if I have, there's sometimes where I have meetings at 6 in the morning because people are in other countries, then my absolute non-negotiable is journaling. So what
Mhm.
I do is every day I get up and I tell my day what I want from it. So I literally put different statements out there for what I want from the day.
Good. No, that's
Mhm.
that I love that. So
Yeah.
now, without further ado, I just
Yeah.
want to say that I want to hear the Carol story because I could tell it, but I would butcher it and I would
Yeah,
start
that's okay.
laughing. So I
Do you
want
want
to
me to
hear the
just
Carol
tell
story.
tell the part where she was in first class?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. That part's great.
So, yeah.
You're
So,
laughing
okay,
already.
so I'm on the plane. I'm the last one on the plane going from Salt Lake City to Kalispell, Montana. And it feels like one seat on the plane. And I see these two ladies staring at me and they're like, "Are you here?" So, yes, I'm there. I'm
Mhm.
next to them. And we literally are like the three best friends that there ever was. Never met Beth, never met Carol.
Yep.
And they were irritated because they wanted the window to be able to be pulled up.
Mhm.
So I get in there and I love the window being up anyway, so I want it up. So now we're BFFs. So I tell them, you're sharing intimate stuff, right? Like
Mhm.
you just met. And so I say, I have never used an airplane bathroom.
Right.
Never, because I feel like the one time I do, it's going down and I'm not going to bite it in an airplane bathroom, right? And so Carol's like, "Oh my gosh," she said, "I'm extroverted and my husband loves that, except, or he finds it irritating, except when it's good for him."
Mhm.
And so she goes on to tell me that he comes over to her and he's like, "Hey, honey, can you ask if we can go to first class?" And she's like, "Okay, whatever." So this on a different flight.
Mhm.
And so the attendant comes up and she's like, "Hi, can we get moved to first class?" And she's like, "Oh, let me check." So they come back, move Carol and her husband to first class, front row, right?
Nice.
First seat
Nice.
on the plane.
Mhm.
And he's like, "All right, this is awesome." And she thinks, "Okay, well, I need to use the bathroom."
Mhm.
And so Carol goes to the bathroom and she just pulls her pants down and turns around and just sits down and starts going. And And what Carol didn't realize is that somebody had put the lid
Oh
down and
no.
she was she was just urinating all over the carpet. Oh my gosh. She's like, "I thought we were going to get kicked out of first class because I peed all over the floor." I was like, "Carol, that is not first class activity, okay?" Gosh, we were laughing so hard. I think the people in the front and back of us were like, "Can these people hurry up and get off the plane because this is too much?"
No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That
it
is
was funny.
awesome.
So, yeah, and then ironically enough, so Carol and Beth go on their way to Montana,
Mhm.
and then as we're all leaving, like we all come back to the airport, we run into Carol and Beth, totally separate. It was crazy, not a coincidence. The
Yeah.
universe was like, you friends need to meet, you need to
Mhm.
laugh, go do your thing, and then come back and see each other again in a few days at the airport.
That's awesome. I think I had not laughed that much in a long time. We laughed pretty much when we were
Oh,
there 4 days. We
yeah.
cried, we laughed, and we had fun.
Oh my gosh.
That
It
was
was an
amazing.
emotional roller coaster for sure. For
Yes.
sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So where can people find you?
Yeah. So if you don't hear me laughing first, then you can look me up. I'm at so muchenergy.com, right? So I have my
Mhm.
website right over here.
Yep.
And then I am on different social media platforms. So on Facebook, it's Jen McKinney, or you can go to my business page, which is So Much Genergy. Then I'm on Instagram, So Much Genergy. LinkedIn is Jenny McKinney.
Okay.
And then I have a YouTube channel, So Much Genergy. The podcast is So Much Genergy. And actually, we're on TV.
You're on
So,
TV.
yeah. So we have a Roku channel. So
Nice.
if you go to Roku and you look up Add a Channel, the channel is called Lions Pride Network, and we have our own So Much Genergy channel on there. And so we put videos on there. They're pretty awesome. So
No, that's cool. So they can go to Lions Pride, look up Genergy,
yep.
and play your videos just
Yeah.
right on their TV.
Yeah, I think we have 17 or 8. Oh no, I think we're up to 19 episodes on there.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
else is next for you? I know you have the event coming up in Michigan. Do you have anything
Yeah.
else coming up? Anything you're looking to
Yeah,
doing
so
in the
I'm
next year or so?
yeah, I'm actually looking at a space here in Tennessee. I met with the owner of the building yesterday. They actually gave me a key, that so I guess that means it's a go, that I can use the space for laughing meditation, mindset trainings. I was doing a once a month mindset training / comedy show. So
Mhm.
I'm really looking at, does that work, or should I just be doing laughing meditation? So I'm going to get some clarity on that. So I will, put that out on social media once I figure that out. And yeah, so I have uh, a coaching program, or an offer service
Mhm. Perfect.
facilitation that is put together to allow people to heal, facilitate their healing. And so with that, I will be putting my own retreat together. I'm not exactly sure if it'll be at the end of the year or in February. I'm
Mhm.
really feeling like February, because I feel like that's after the holidays, give
Yeah.
everybody a breather. And then February is a good time, because after New Year's, and then let's let's focus on us. So
No, that's cool. Do you guys have do you have like a place set for that yet, or are you just still looking? Or
I'm not exactly sure yet, because I feel like it would be so amazing to have it here in Tennessee, just to
Mhm.
allow people to feel the energy here. And there's so many gorgeous places for us to go, and hiking trails, and it's just so gorgeous. And I just feel like I would love if everybody could come here. So I know that there is uh, an actual retreat place. It's called, hang on, let me see it in my head. Eagle's Nest Tree House Resort.
Nice.
Yep. So I talked to the owner of that, ironically, about his business cards.
Mhm.
But we were talking about that. So he's in the process of building that, and it's new. It's probably about an hour from here. And we did talk about doing a retreat. I don't know if I'll be able to do the first retreat there, because I don't know if it'll be finished just yet. And eventually he's going to have TED Talks and things like that there.
Oh, nice.
And so my goal is to really be on his stage.
No, do it. Do
Yeah.
it. Love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
Oh
Thank you
my
for being on
gosh.
my
Thank you so
podcast.
much. I'm so excited for everybody. I appreciate you being here. I'll put some good little juju and genergy out there for you.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for being on the 150K podcast, where we help you go from broke to six figures. I'm your host, Joe Graham. Subscribe, like, and share this with all your friends and family, and we will see you next time. Have a great, wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.